you need some kind of portfolio quality, but it's more around the operating discipline. How did he track the first loan out the gate? What kind of metrics was he monitoring? Was he iterating on his credit rules? Do you have kind of the same perspective on that very early stage lending and what you need to get right?
100%. Look, it also depends on how people originate pools, right? How are you doing your customer acquisition? Are these like random people scattered all over?
Yeah.
Or probably you've got one like B2B2C partnership, right?
Yeah.
So every cohort has come from the same source.
Yeah.
And I think that the problem, and by the way, it's a wonderful thing, it shows the passion of founders, is like someone can wake up in the morning and I think they could tell you like most of their borrowers, and they could find out where on a map they are, and they could tell you how much they borrowed and how much they pay back, etc. And that's incredible, but it's just not going to scale. And every person that you hire is by definition not going to have as much equity as you, and probably not going to care as much as you, and they're going to be on a salary and so on, and they're not going to have that level of recall. So I think a lot of it is building systems, and I can't speak to which softwares you use, etc. But the most important thing is, if someone's 90 days past due and it's your first ever cohort, you're just going to think about collecting it. But you should also think, hey, that's 90 days past due. That probably has an accounting implication. Should I consider this part of my write-off book? How do I think about this, etc.? It's about thinking for scale, because making, even though you can make a very high, nominal amount of interest in some of these segments on a small loan book, and that profit looks really enticing and juicy at the beginning, that's not your equity story. That's not why you're getting valued at 20-25x. It's because you're earning a 21% net interest margin, because that's going to go down over time. And you're going to scale, and you're going to grow into new segments, and you're going to want to be an originator. And the way that you work, or where your equity value comes from, is somewhere completely different. And I think there are now, and I think this is a wonderful time to be a founder, because there are so many public companies out there and so many success stories and so many case studies across developed and emerging markets, that you can already see the type of business that you're going towards, and you can see how they report to their investors. And so even if you're starting at the beginning and you're just like, hey, I just put some equity out, I want to get it back, having that in the back of your mind is probably really important.